the key is the person across from you, whatever that situation is, if to see the truth in your eyes, you're good. And it's amazing how everything solves itself when you don't pay attention to that. So, if you and I are arguing about whatever, and I'm trying to hold my let's say you're a Republican, I'm a Democrat, and we're discussing politics. We are basically two parallel lines. We're never going to come together, right?
And also the ideological premises from which we approach each specific situation is opposite.
Yes. However, the fact that we're talking about it means that we're talking about those ideologic premises for something. What is that something? It's our country. It's our society. It's our people. So if you say, wait a minute, you and I both mean well. We're not talking like this because we want to hurt our country. We care about our country. But we think that my idea is going to help it more than that other idea. That's really what it is. But if we stop that, because that is the reflex again, and you say, okay, let us say what is good for this country. I respect what you have to say. You respect what I have to say. Let's talk about this country. We will not fight. We will work together. And that's what they call crossing the aisle. That's what they call being bipartisan. There's a lot of talk like that. But the bottom line of it is, if you put your self-interest aside and talk about the interest of the greater good, whatever that is, not only will you get more benefit from that, but you also will accomplish this.
Yeah.
That's it.
My way of handling that, I like everything you're saying. You talk about the common good. My way of handling it is I look at the person as a person, and that's it. And I've had heated conversations with a couple of people, and I'm very proud, actually, of the fact that I have very close friends of all sorts. But when it comes to religion, when it comes to politics, when it comes to, and I'm not talking about acquaintances, I'm talking about friends, I'm talking about close friends. And whenever these things come up, I talk with them about it. And again, I've actually gotten better at not letting that reflex get in the way, that anger and so forth. I don't look at the person for their ideas or so forth. I look at them for being my friend.
Sure, because you're looking at the good of the good of humanity, or choosing to look at those. But as in a general rule, honestly, I mean, it's interesting because, again, none of us can go through a day without such things happening in different shapes and forms. But the key thing is, and again, I'm not a priest, I'm not some guy who's trying to be a goody-goody kind of guy. Actually, I'm the opposite. I'm saying, what is the best thing that's going to make me feel good and put my head on that pillow and sleep soundly, is to understand that as a being, as a flawed being, and again, I don't mean that I'm a sinner or any of these religious kinds of things. I'm just saying, the way these genes are working and how I was put together by nature, I have flaws. One of the flaws, again, because of our evolutionary background, is pride. I don't want to be the first guy to step back. You don't want to be the first guy to step back. That is natural. It's important to talk about that, to say this is one of your sins, pride. So, to understand how you deal with that sin is to face that very sin.
And that's different than pride, like say pride in your work, pride in your own self or who you are and whatever.
Yes, they're similar because that pride in your work makes you do positive things, because that's all being self-interested and self-centered and all of that, right? I mean, you want to be happy with what you did. So that pride is good. That pride then translates into a discussion two people are having or whatever it is, and that pride turns into I'm right and you're wrong pride. And I am not going to be the first one to blink pride. But you see, the thing that people don't understand, this is not a battlefield. This is not. If you're going to be in a battlefield, the rules are different. This is social behavior within society, within whatever it is that we do, right? We're not getting up every day and strapping on an M16 going to work, right? So, but to turn it into this all or none phenomenon is wrong. And I honestly think it takes a lot of maturity, and it's not easy. You know, you almost have to like force yourself to say, put aside the pride. You and I are arguing about something. I'm like really mad at you. You did this and that, and you're mad at me because I did this and that.
I'll, in my mind, I'll start thinking as well. And the longer our history is, the more I have to pull from what you did, years ago, and how it made me feel. It renews itself. It feels bad again at this moment, and so on.
Yeah, it's like
then of course it's not really about the specific thing we're talking about. That's just a vehicle, so to say, for me to.
It's a vehicle for you to make sense out of your anger. So I mean, it's really you're just you're recruiting concepts from your past as like an army that you're trying to get more troops on your side.
Yeah.
To make it more powerful, which is stupid, frankly. If you really think about it, it's like, boy, this is really crazy, and so and then the concept that the purpose of life, of humans who are higher level thinkers, and the higher you go, the more you should apply these rules, is to see the world as gray. See the world as not so clear cut. See the world as a world where we all are capable of doing bad things, no matter what's going on. And see the world as the guy who can help this world is the one who says, or the woman, whatever, the person who can say, I recognize that we can make mistakes. So, we're family members.